Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into the absolute, breathtaking madness of that Portugal versus Croatia round of 32 clash. Look, if you watch this game, you already know exactly why we're here. And if you missed it, well, strap in, because this matchup literally had everything. We're talking dramatic late goals, staggering tactical gambles, and maybe, just maybe, the final bows of some of the absolute greatest players we've ever seen step on a pitch. So, let's dive into this with a quote from our source material that perfectly captures the pure disbelief and that raw 2 a.m. adrenaline rush this match gave us. Quote, "What did I just watch? What manner of drama?" Our source was literally shouting at their screen in the middle of the night because the entertainment value was just off the charts. It honestly felt way less like a round of 32 match and much more like a World Cup final.
Which brings us to Section 1, Extra Time, Absolute Chaos. Okay, we have to talk about the sheer, heart-stopping panic of stoppage time, because it was unbelievable. So we hit the 90-minute mark, right? The referee announces a massive 10 minutes of extra time. Then, at 94 minutes, Ramos comes off the bench and just buries this wonderful header. At that point you think, okay, it's over. Surely Portugal has won it. But the clock just kept ticking. 11 minutes, 12 minutes, 13 minutes go by. And then out of nowhere, at the 103rd minute, Croatia actually equalizes. The stadium absolutely erupts. But wait, the drama doesn't even stop there. The goal gets ruled out for offside against Perisic, and the game finally, mercifully, ends 2-1. Just wild.
As our source put it, sleep well, sacrificed. The reward for all the fans who stayed up insanely late to watch this was the ultimate dramatic final dance for some absolute legends of the game. For Luka Modric, this heartbreakingly marks the end of his World Cup journey. And for Cristiano Ronaldo, well, fans finally got to see him secure that elusive knockout stage goal right before Portugal barely, and I mean barely, survived to see the next round.
Moving on to Section 2, a manager's massive gamble.
To figure out how we even got to that chaotic finish, we have to zero in on a crucial turning point, the 62nd minute. Things were really not going well for Portugal, and that's the exact moment manager Roberto Martinez pulled the plug on some of his biggest names. He just decided to completely shake up the foundation of his squad on the pitch. Which left our source asking this very real, very blunt question: are you a madman, Roberto Martinez? Now, keep in mind, our source has historically been super critical of Martinez. They stated flat out they generally don't rate him as a manager at all. But even they were completely stunned that a coach was bold enough to make such massive, high-stakes changes in a knockout game of this magnitude.
I mean, just look at the sheer audacity of these substitutions. It's staggering. He takes off untouchable stars. He subs off Bruno Fernandes, João Cancelo, Vitinha, and incredibly, he subs off Cristiano Ronaldo himself. And who does he bring on? Guys like Nelson Semedo, specifically for a defensive impact. That is a monumental risk. Think about it. If Croatia had scored and won, Martinez would have been absolutely crucified by the media for taking off his primary goal scorers. But it's this exact boldness, this crazy calculated roll of the dice, that ultimately saved Portugal's entire tournament.
Let's shift gears a bit for Section 3, the Bruno Fernandes problem. The contrast we're seeing here is just staggering. Coming into this tournament, Bruno was a bona fide club legend. He was arguably the most informed player in the entire world, right? Chasing and breaking assist records, logging 21 Premier League assists, winning player of the season. The guy has a history of delivering the goods even in highly dysfunctional Manchester United systems under a revolving door of managers. But his World Cup reality? It's been tough. Only 1 assist, he's really lacking those special moments and just struggling to impact the game overall. Actually, aside from 1 first-half shot that got saved, our source couldn't recall a single memorable thing he did in this entire match.
It's gotten to the point where our source specifically issued him a challenge, literally calling it the pass the ball forward challenge. You can really feel the palpable frustration there. They're basically begging this world-class talent to just take more risks and shoulder the massive responsibility of carrying Portugal's offense. Back in the day, when Ronaldo and Nani were in their prime, they put the team on their backs. Now that mantle is squarely on Bruno, and the demand is pretty simple. Do something special, take a risk, and pass the ball forward.
Now, to be totally fair to Bruno, a severe midfield mismatch absolutely compounded his struggles. Mateo Kovacic and Luka Modric, they completely bossed the midfield. And think about this for a second. Modric is practically a veteran. He's the exact same age as Ronaldo, yet he was out there completely dominating prime Portuguese players. To make matters even worse, Martinez confusingly deployed Bernardo Silva way out on the right wing. That's a traditional winger role he really hasn't played since, 2020? Instead of using him as a deep wing fielder where we all know he's most effective. All right, Section 4, Respecting the Croatian Giants. We absolutely have to take a moment to acknowledge the sheer pedigree of the team Portugal just eliminated, because Croatia is an absolute titan in international football. Look at this track record. In the 2018 World Cup, they fought all the way to the final, only losing to France. In 2022, they pushed to the semi-finals, falling to the eventual winners, Argentina. Historically, it is almost exclusively the eventual tournament winners who actually have the strength to knock Croatia out. So for Portugal to eliminate them here in the round of 32, that is a massive, incredibly hard-fought achievement.
Which leads us straight into Section 5. Up next, the Spain Showdown. Looking ahead, the context for this upcoming Iberian derby is absolutely huge. Having barely survived the Croatian test, Portugal now faces a direct replay of the Nations League final. It's Portugal versus Spain in the round of 16. But the dynamic has definitely shifted. Spain is coming into this matchup widely favored as the significantly better side on paper. It's going to be a massive test.
So it all boils down to the ultimate question. Who survives the Iberian derby? Are Roberto Martinez's incredibly bold madman gambles going to be enough to shock a heavily favored Spanish side? Can Bruno Fernandes finally step up and match his club legend status on the international stage? Or has Portugal's chaotic, extra-time luck finally run out? We'll just have to wait and find out.